Hello and welcome to my kitchen. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a very popular Bombay street food called Pau Bhaji. Now this recipe I learned many years ago when we were in university in the USA, and this girl that taught me, she made the best Pau Bhaji. She was from Bombay and she knew her Pau Bhaji. Now, I want to tell you that I'm going to teach you today how to make this recipe vegan, and it tastes just as good as it would with butter. But don't worry, if you love butter, then go ahead and add butter. But my recipe is vegan today, so let's get cooking. You'll need one small head of cauliflower with the florets cut into 1-inch pieces, and the total amount here in weight is about 520 grams. 2 peppers cut up. I like to use a red and a green pepper, and it weighs approximately 265 grams. 1 medium carrot, which is about 100 grams, about 50 grams of green beans, and 75 grams of frozen green peas. 3 medium potatoes weighing 425 grams, and we'll peel and dice these up. 2 medium onions weighing about 220 grams, and we'll chop these up. 3 medium red ripe tomatoes weighing about 290 grams that we'll also chop up. 1/4 cup of oil, and this is sunflower oil. 1/4 cup of water and 1 teaspoon of salt, both of which we'll use when boiling the vegetables. 4 teaspoons of Pav Bhaji Masala, and I'll put my favorite brands in the description below. 1 teaspoon of salt, and 2 tablespoons of ginger garlic chili paste. The first thing we'll do is we'll put the vegetables, the cauliflower, the potato, all into a colander and give it a quick rinse. I'm going to use my pressure cooker to boil the vegetables. You can also use your Instant Pot or do it on the stove pot. I'm going to pressure cook this for about 3 minutes. If you're using an Instant Pot, it'll be 4 to 5 minutes, I'd say. Or on the stove top, you'll have to check it and just make sure that they're really nice and cooked through. So put the vegetables into your pressure cooker. Sprinkle the teaspoon of salt on top, and pour 1/4 cup of water over the top. And then just give it a shake so that they settle down. And we're going to pressure cook this for 3 minutes. So I've got mine on a medium-high on the number 6. Once the vegetables have been cooking for 3 minutes after it's come to pressure, go ahead and turn the stove off and let the pressure release naturally. Alright, so now we're getting ready to fry all the spices that's going to give the vegetables the flavors. So heat up another pan on medium-high heat. Once the pan's heated up for about a minute, go ahead and add the oil. And let that heat up. Once the oil's heated up, then go ahead and add the onions. And we're going to fry these until they're a nice golden brown. While the onions are frying, and once the pressure has released from your pressure cooker, go ahead and open the pot. There'll be some water at the bottom, and we want to strain that out. So be very careful while draining the liquid. And reserve that liquid because we might need some later on. Once you've taken out the water, using a potato masher, go ahead and mash the vegetables up. So mash the vegetables, not until they're completely mashed up, because you do want a little bit of texture in there. And you might be wondering why I use the vegetables that I use, because I do think it's unusual to add green and red peppers in Pav Bhaji, but those vegetables are what make this Pav Bhaji extra delicious and aromatic. The vegetables make such a big difference, so I definitely recommend you follow the recipe exactly, and then you can change it later if there's something that you want to add in there. But in the beginning, definitely follow this recipe because it's so good. It just works out very well. In fact, I always follow the same measurement every time I make Pav Bhaji, and it works out really well. So my onions have been frying for just over 10 minutes and they're a lovely golden color now. So I'm going to add the spices in and fry them up. So I've got my ginger garlic chili paste here, the salt and the Pau Bhaji Masala. We're going to add this to the onions and just fry that. And if you were here now, you could just smell how good this aroma is. You can smell all the spices in that Pav Bhaji Masala. It's absolutely amazing. That's been going for a minute, so we're going to add the tomatoes in now and let that cook. And we're going to let this cook covered until the tomatoes are really nice and soft. My tomatoes are nicely softened now, so I'm going to add the mashed up vegetables to the mix. And go ahead and mix it in. Now this consistency is actually fine, but if yours is very thick and you would like to add some water, go ahead and use the water that we reserved from the boiled vegetables. And we're gonna lower the heat now to a very low temperature and let this cook, because the vegetables were boiled separately with just salt and the spices were in the masala that we fried up. So you want to let this cook together for about 20 minutes or so, and actually it tastes better if you make it like 4 to 5 hours before you're going to eat it, even the day before. The longer this sits, the more the flavors meld together and it tastes absolutely delicious. And the other thing is, if you taste this right now, because the spices were separate from the vegetables, you might think, oh, I need to add a little bit more salt, or I need to add some more of the masala in there. I would just wait, because you need to let this really cook together and the spices to mix and, you know, really meld with the vegetables to give it the flavor. So let this cook, be patient, and the flavors will just really come out. In the meantime, chop up the vegetables for the toppings. Now this has been sitting here for about 3 to 4 hours and we're getting ready to have dinner. So I'm going to heat this up, and at this point, if you're not vegan, you can go ahead and add butter to the dish. Now there's very little fat in here, like we used 1/4 cup with all these vegetables, so it is very low fat at this point, and we want to really cook it up nicely. So I've got the heat on medium high and I'm going to let this heat up and kind of fry up a little bit. Now pau is bread in our language, so I have the bread here and we're using soft rolls. So I'm just going to cut this in half and I'm going to spread some of this vegan, dairy-free spread on it, and we're going to fry it up in the frying pan. So you can see that as you heat this up and let it cook uncovered, the consistency changes and it just comes together really nicely. And my buns are ready as well, so we're actually going to put the dish together and I'll show you how it looks. Now there's two ways of doing this. You can either put the curry on the side and put all the toppings on it and have the bread separately, or you can put the curry on top of the buns, which is what I'm going to show you. I love to garnish with these ingredients, which are chopped up red onions, chopped tomatoes, chopped coriander, and slices of lemon and green chilies, just in case somebody likes it hotter. And there you have it. Delicious Pav Bhaji, just like on the streets of Bombay. I hope you guys enjoyed watching my video. If you did, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and check out my website for the written recipe. I'll see you all soon for some more cooking inspiration.